So I've just done the guided meditation recording for the full moon in Scorpio. And I just wanted to share what sort of came through and my reflection of what that was. And so on the lead up to it was being really shown Black Madonna, how we need to look for our shadows and our darkness and to be fully liberated as a soul, which instantly conjures up like, oh God, this is going to be hard. This is going to be hard work. It's going to be what we're going to be faced with, and what we're going to be like, what's going to come up, and all those fears. Ultimately, I mean, I know because I felt that too, and I also thought, well, this is just going to be like, boom, really powerful. Like so much will be going on, and it was the complete opposite. And I'm not saying it's not powerful, but it's just powerful from a very different way. And this is what the whole essence of the feminine and healing that I do when it's on hands-on, whether it's somatically, online, energetically. It's like we think things have to be really dramatic and very obviously powerful. And yet the power comes from the shift, that very gracious change. And that light that birthed us, which I call Sophia, the Sophia light, that wisdom that was initially a spark of light, then a pulse, and then a frequency, and then a coherence, and then eventually the primitive cells started, and then they started to grow us from an embryo. And we're connecting into that essence, into that wisdom, into that light when we're doing this work through the portal of the heart. And what this meditation was really getting us to land deeply in our hearts. Each breath, no pushing, no struggle, trying to get onto anything else. It's about fully being present in our hearts, which eventually evolved and called in the masculine, the divine masculine, which came from just imagining sunshine and that warmth that we would feel, that holding, that kind of where we can allow ourselves to soften and open, which is the feminine, to be able to receive, whether you're male or female. And through that softening of opening in the heart, enabled connects it. For me, I see it like it roots into the spine, into the cerebral spinal fluid, into our consciousness. And so when that gets blocked, we've got stagnancy, we've got pain, we can't express ourselves as well and can't deal with emotions as well. It gets blocked. And so this was opening this whole portal that is our heart, that then connects us into the creatics, into the Mother Earth frequency, which is our truth, which is where we're born from, which is where we will die to. It's like, that's our truth, not all the white noise that we believe is real, of systems and all sorts of things. And the play for our attention and our energy is always there, and it's ramping up so much more. And so actually it just kept calling us back to this, back to our truth, back to our hearts, back to the present moment, back into earth. And it was a lot of spine, like skeletal system, really into the bones. I've been seeing this quite a lot with Yeshua that comes through the spine, the 33 vertebrae. It was shown as the spine of truth. And when we get this right, when we get back into alignment, soul conscious alignment, spine, skeletal system alignment, masculine holding like presence, you can see the divine masculineness and how we regenerate from that, from deep within. And so what I thought was what we might have got is something like really deep and dark and something like all going on and entities and all sorts of stuff. It wasn't. It was just purely being in our hearts, in that purity, in that flow, and that cleared. And it was just calling in space, calling in integrity, calling in support, calling in love, calling in so the whole system, our neural system, our spine, our cerebral spinal fluid, our organs, and for women it was for our womb. That was really very powerful. That came through with Mary Magdalene, and just to be held, to feel safe and supported and loved. And it also showed how the masculine, the men, are to see the feminine and the sacredness of that, and to recognize that's part of them too, that birthed them. And so it was really interesting how, and as you can liken that, so what we see now in the collective and the separation and the manosphere and everything else that's going on, actually the reverence of the feminine and bringing this union of the sacred masculine and feminine together through our bodies, through our spine, through our third eye and our perineum, that we hold this channel of consciousness. And when we can hold that, then our whole skeletal system regenerates from that. Our body's always regenerating. Some things take longer than others, but we will regenerate from that. And every conscious step, every conscious choice that we choose to make from an aligned choices to our joy, to our purpose, will enable that process. So it was beautiful. And, when I'm channeling, I'm thinking, well, at some point something might happen. It's like, no, it just kept flowing. And it just showed me the lotus flower, how it's connected its murky roots down into the earth. And yet it comes through beautiful, pure and clean. It doesn't disconnect itself from the earth. It just chooses discernment of what it feeds from, what it needs, and then what it doesn't. And that's the divine masculine. That's what is the pure masculine. If we're living in unity and love and didn't need to think about fear and protection, the masculine is discernment. He holds space. He holds roots to allow the feminine to fill and to grace that. So the masculine is our roots. It's our earthing to our bodies, to our spine, to our presence, to earth, and then we can allow the fluidity that is the feminine to blossom. And that's what I see Yeshua as. He's like the embodiment of both, and he's here to give presence to the feminine, as well as being able to cut load of cords and paradigms and bring in forgiveness and through truth. And yeah, he's a powerful being, and he isn't here to save us as in like we give our power away. He comes in and helps us when we call him in. He just brings that clarity and cuts the cords of everything that no longer serves. So if you do go to listen to this meditation, I'd always welcome to hear your feedback. But I just feel so much more peaceful. And I've said this before with trauma work, don't fear your body. Your body loves you and will always love you and will never hurt you, will never harm you or re-traumatize. So actually doing this work isn't as bad as we think. um, so yeah, anyway, thank you for listening, beautiful souls, and lots of love.